part 2. So the way to connect, which is first stating out loud. Everything has to be out loud in terms of, if you're calling something in, keeping it quiet in yourself is not going to help them hear you. And so you state out loud, I am calling on all those ancestors that are of love and light, that have done the work, that are here for my greatest destiny and purpose. And you can create an altar specifically for ancestors and start making offerings to them. And, tune into who comes through. I had an amazing ancestor come through, and she, came from way, way back, and she is, she gives me a lot of information, and we are very closely aligned through the connections I've made with her, and through, the ancestor altar. We connected before I went to Egypt, so I really had this amazing experience the first time I went to Egypt due to this connection with her. So it's good to align with those who are evolved, and the ones that aren't. It's taken me several years to really, I recognized through ceremonies with those who are trained in the ancestor oracle realms. I've learned to recognize that there were a group of ancestors in my lineage that don't want me to succeed. They don't want me to thrive. So they don't, I guess because, part of it is, the times these ancestors were living in. Maybe it was an era of, if you had special powers, you became accused of dark magic, even though it was just, working with this reality is magical. So it's just like those ones who were trained in the alchemical ways, they knew how to work with this reality, because they knew that this reality was a interdimensional magical place with a lot of energies all around that you can tap into. So, sorry, shaky cam. So this is a time to really start connecting, because these ancestors are with us regardless. And, really setting your boundaries with the spirits is okay. They respect it. Kitty is really like chatty today. So it's good to cultivate a relationship. And, this is a time when the veils are thin, but the veils can always be thin if you are in practice with working with the ancestors. And because past, present, future is all with us, help those ones that are wounded. Send them love. Help them by, for me, it's like I just wanted my ancestors, the disturbed ones, to be at peace, that was really the goal. And they are at peace, and they are, and part of, like, when they're not at peace, then you're not at peace. And it's like, why aren't you at peace? Because your ancestors could be fighting over who wants to be, leading you on this, quest for your greatest destiny and purpose, to do the thing you were meant to do. So they may have different ideas about that. I've definitely seen that in people, where there's a conflict. And I have one great grandmother I knew. She passed at 103. She grew up in Ohio on a farm, and in the 1800s, late 1800s, and she is like the one I know that was just happy with her life. She loved all the tasks on the farm and how they raised animals and harvested animals and used all the, feathers for down beds, and, the grease, even to when they were sick, they would cover themselves in goose grease and turpentine. She wrote this whole story, and it's really beautiful to see how they were really working with the land, living on the land. They understood energy and how to work with energy. And, they traded for what they needed, which was, she mentioned, coffee and sugar. That's the things they traded for. And it was just like a very harmonious life for her. In a time that really what we get is that there was a lot of destruction in the 1900s, and there was a lot of, scarcity, and, so I don't get that from her, because everybody's having a different experience based on their vibration. So seeing that her little story she left about her life has really made a difference for me, because I can align with her, and, and I can tell her stories. I can tell these stories, and they're a testimony to, when you're in alignment and you're vibrating high, how even in these times that were portrayed as being such dark times, her experience was amazing. So, and she lived to 103, which she'd always be like, I hope I don't see you again. In her 90s, she'd be like, but she, did her thing, and just was a very happy person. Now, I mean, of course, that's part of astrology too, because some of us have more difficult charts in our geometries. If there's more challenges, then there's more to work on in this life. So I should do her chart. I'll have to look at it next. But anyways, I just wishing you the best time, and utilizing this time to really connect with those who are in your lineage, they're really, they can't wait to work with you. They are just like, but the other ones, the wounded ones, get the more attention, right? So here comes the rain. Blessings.